The Tigers continue to play unsociable football. I don't know whether it's an interesting social experiment in itself. Hawthorn went through it. Now Richmond are going through it. Their discipline has been in question all year. You asked Liam Baker about it on the weekend, and then we'll hear from Dylan Grimes.
On the discipline side of it, who drove that during the week? Was it Damien Hardwick who sort of was really strong with it, or is it driven by the players?
Yeah, it was Dimmer in the review early in the week. He sort of said it's not good enough and we need to be better, which is an easy fix. It's just a mindset thing. We sort of put it to bed early in the week, and it was in everyone's mind tonight. And I think we're very good at that.
We love the brand of footy that both Trent and Lynchy play, and we're going to be trying to bring that week in, week out, that physical style of Richmond football. Having said that, we like our players playing to the rules and not giving away any free kicks and penalties where we can. So, that's the focus of ours. But I just think it's a bit of a storm in a teacup in some ways.
Haven't heard storm in a teacup from a footballer for a while. It is a fine line, and Damien Hardwick didn't like it last week, and he drove it, as Liam Baker told you, Matthew, and yet at the end of the game he said it's a big boys game and sort of tough. I do think Richmond are suffering in terms of their reputation. When you look at... People never went on about Hawthorn like this, did they? They really didn't.
No, they did towards the end.
Oh, nothing like this. I think Richmond are copying it a lot more, and I'm not quite sure why. Maybe it's some of their off-field incidents. We spoke to their captain on 3AW, Trent Cotchin, about his head-high tackle issues, and it was an interesting conversation. We've had a few calls about your head-high tackle on Zach Jones.
Yeah, it's part and parcel of the game.
So Trent, is it part and parcel then to tackle in a way that, if it goes high...
Tackle to hurt Tim, you're saying?
If your intent is just to tackle and it happens to slip high, then that is part and parcel of the game, yeah.
The one last week was a very aggressive head-high tackle. I think it was on Jared Lyons, and then last night the one on Zach Jones. It's just coincidence that it's been two aggressive head-highs the last 2 weeks for you?
Yeah, that's what I would suggest it was, yeah.
So he probably didn't like the fact that but I've got no doubt Trent looks to step up at times and make a statement, and I think they've found the pretty good balance on the weekend. Some will say, come on, we saw that tackle, and Tom Lynch the week before was just crazy, giving away 50s. Yep. I reckon Hardwick, as we've heard, has given it to them, but I love playing. You have to play on the edge. Hardwick was a player that played on the edge. He coaches on the edge. Ken Hinckley's got his team on the edge at the moment. It's the way you have to win finals, whether you like Richmond or not. You just don't want to be getting suspended or giving away too many free kicks. And Kane, what have you made of Jack Riewoldt's form across this final series and the season in general?
Yeah, he flies under the radar a little bit because the club has so much success. I remember having a similar conversation leading into the grand final last year and looked at his numbers, and he came out in the grand final and kicked 5, albeit it was on Phil Davis, who was probably on one leg. But I just haven't seen him as uninvolved as he's been, like 4 disposals. There's his form from 17 to 19, and that's his form this year, and he's probably been saved by Tom Lynch on the weekend and how good he was. So I think he'd want to set himself for a big prelim and a big grand final if that's the way it plays out for the Tigers.
He's changed his way, the way he's played in that time, though, hasn't he? He's been allowed Tom Lynch to be the guy, and he has been more prepared not to get stats and do selfless team things.
Yeah, that's fine, Hutchie, and he's referenced as a great team player a lot, but you can't be getting 4 disposals a game in a big final and escape some scrutiny. So he needs to step up, and I'd like to see him play a little bit more outside 50 and let Lynch come in behind and take the burden off Tom Lynch, because at the moment they're so Dustin Martin and Tom Lynch focused when they're both forward.